What folklore creature do you think really exists? If there was an undiscovered folklore creature somewhere, I'd put all my money on it being one of the ocean ones. Loch Ness Monster, Kraken, etc. Some sort of sea monster. The ocean is so incredibly big and goes insanely deep. Who knows what we can't see in the depths? Edit. To everyone hitting me with the loch means lake, not ocean. Yes, I am very aware of that. But it is called the Loch Ness Monster because it was seen in Loch Ness, a lake which is very much connected to the ocean through River Ness. Which means if it is real, there's a chance it's from the ocean, making it a sea monster. Although to be fair, I have no idea how big the river is, but it could have slipped through the river when it was a baby and grew up in the lake. I guess all my countrymen are still asleep down in the southern hemisphere, so no one's posted it. But the Min lights are definitely something real and more than just something you can blow off. Yowies are also probably out there, along with other things. Australia, same as Canada, is so big and so uninhabited that, at least to me, it's really not that hard to accept that there are things out there that we don't know about. I mean, for all we know, maybe these creatures are subterranean and are rarely on the surface. I would not be terribly surprised for us to discover a North American ape or monkey living in the deep woods, but I will be shocked if it is more than 2 feet tall and 50 pounds. We humans are unbelievably bad at estimating size and distance. Ask any hunter about ground shrinkage, and that is on an animal they love and know passionately, and spends years staring at someone, catching a glance of something odd and remembering it huge is not even a little unusual. Considering the fact that we've recorded massive sea creatures moving faster and deeper than anything we know on sonar, along with the fact that we've explored, what is it, less than 2% of the ocean? We're also finding new sea creatures every single day. I realize that sounds far-fetched, but this is all off the top of my head, and from what I've heard from a number of sources. Whether they were all reliable or not, I honestly cannot recall. I think it's possible there's some big shit down there. Oh, and as someone else mentioned, shit in the deep woods. Not many people have gone to where I'm talking about. Even those that go miles into the woods stay on well-preserved trails. So how do we know there isn't shit miles into nowhere? Quote, giants. Throughout history, the average height for a human was pretty damn short. So a 7-foot-tall man, certainly not impossible, would definitely be a giant. Throw in some late surviving Neanderthals and you get what certainly looks like a giant. The orang pendek. It's a small bipedal ape supposedly inhabiting the rainforests of Sumatra. A group of scientists even claim they have distinctive footprints and hair samples, but it's not really confirmed if it exists. Edit. Fixed name. According to legend, St. George the Dragon Slayer earned his moniker by traveling to Middle East, Libya, fighting and killing a dragon. You might assume, and many did, that the story was made up. But they discovered art in the Middle East from the time period showing a knight in full British armor fighting a giant crocodile. So I think it was all true and the dragon was real. The people of Britain just didn't know what a crocodile was. Edit. Should NT have said British armor? Better to say knight's armor. Edit 2. Quote, Middle East. Should be Africa. I am a dumb immersion. Edit 3. The art was from Barcelona and supplied by the much better informed UK Alexandria, whose reply is below. https Miro. Media Monsieur. Com. Max 1400/1 JJPIFHXDH8 Easy PC4 VBPFW. JPEG. Edit 4. I am pretty sure the people of Britain still don't know what a crocodile is. Michele Mbembe. A sauropod that lurks in the massive jungle, swamp, rainforest in Central Africa. Unicorns. or as the modern world know it as rhinoceros megaconda. It's just a really, really big anaconda, and since those snakes grow continually throughout their lives, I wouldn't be surprised if some have, in the past, gotten over 50 feet or more. I'd love to believe that one day when we have mastered the whole space travel thing, we will detect alien life on another planet which will freak everyone out. Mass panic. Then we go to their planet for a little look and it's just a bunch of Ewoks jabbering about being adorable. Those commonly pale white or otherwise deformed bipedal creatures that a lot of people record and post on websites when exploring densely forested or otherwise abandoned or underpopulated areas. Not really folklore, so to say, but I thought I would throw this out there. Thunderbirds might not be new to most people, but the jackalope actually does exist. Technically, the jackalope is a North American legend, a rabbit with antlers. In reality, it's a rabbit suffering from a virus that causes weird growths on its head. For hundreds, if not of years, fairies have been throughout stories, literature, and tales. Little bright lights. Surely, people were seeing something. Maybe it was assumed the orbs had tiny human form as your IDK. Could go hand in hand, I suppose. NYC sewer alligators. In the early 20th century, small alligators as pets were apparently a popular thing among kids, and when they started to get too big, parents allegedly disposed of them by throwing them down the drains, into the sewers like dead goldfish. I can totally see them living off the massive sewer rats and growing to be a decent size. And a dark, dank, muddy environment like the NYC underground seems like a viable habitat for them. This year, they were also the inspiration for Doc Connors from Spider-Man. As a form of a traditional demon, the Baba Yaga, a witch Slavic folklore, had an imaginary friend named Baba Witch that lived in my barn when I was little. One time I was playing with it, and got locked in a room with no lock. I screamed for nearly 30 minutes before my mom got me out. Fast forward a few years, and I had gotten these things called creature cards, which were like big cards with pictures and facts about animals and monsters and stuff. When I saw the Baba Yaga, it looked almost exactly how I'd imagined Baba Witch. Fast forward to now, it all kind of clicked for me. There's weird shit in the deep woods. Fairies. The northern European kind. I live and work in the woods. I end up places where people simply don't go. Helicopter in and out kinds of forests. There's something out here I don't understand, but it certainly seems to understand me. I wear a sock inside out every day 'cause of it. A trick my nan taught me. Quote, always wear a piece of clothing inside out or the fairies will take you. I don't fuck with the fairies. The two I think are most likely. And #X200B. The Kraken, giant squid have finally been conclusively proven to exist in the last decade or so. It's not beyond belief an even larger variety is out there, or was still extant, in the age of sailing. And #X200B. The other is Bigfoot, Sasquatch. While the most well-known sighting, recording has been proven a hoax, the stories of them go back hundreds of years in native tribes. The description is not that far off from the Gigantopithecus that once really did exist. While it seems unlikely a sustainable breeding population of those could have remained alive this long, it's not impossible. We've rediscovered other species thought extinct. And the Pacific Northwest is huge and there are a lot of very remote forests. I am a lot more dubious of this one, but these are the two that seem the most plausible to me. Edit. I've been told multiple times that the Patterson film was not disproven, so I stand corrected on that. For some reason I thought I heard he recanted it as a hoax, but I am in error. I think Orang Pendek probably existed until relatively recently. Still probably maybe extinct for thousands of years though. The stories make sense. They are widespread and common in the areas it was said to exist. And there is a fossil record for small hominids in other islands in Indonesia. The Poukai of Maori myth. Or at least, it did exist. We've got fossils. The Maori killed off its food supply. Edit. It's the Haast's eagle. Russian Yeti. There was a 3-hour documentary on Discovery and it freaked me out. I don't think it's necessarily likely per se, but my family are Irish and they hardcore believe in the fair folk. Or the AOC. They're not exactly fairies. They're different, meaner. You don't fuck with them, basically. And if something's going horribly wrong in your life, it's probably because you fucked with them or you made them angry. And you have to be careful how you talk about them, too, kind of like with skinwalkers. You don't name Themyscira. You just call them the fair folk, or the folk. They mostly hang out and try to get you to owe them a favor. You don't take anything from the folk, or you owe them one. And you don't want to be in that position. There's lots of different types that do lots of different things, though. I don't want to come off as that weirdo who believes in what is essentially fairies, but I grew up with the stories and I have a healthy level of skepticism about this. I am not saying they're real, but I am also not about to step into a fairy circle anytime soon. Especially not at dusk. That Japanese creature with an eye on his butthole that runs up to you and moons you while looking at you. The sea bear. The techniques to keep it away are very complicated. The kraken is almost definitely an extra THICC colossal squid and I want him found. Most of the ocean things I wouldn't be surprised by, considering coelacanths were thought to be extinct until relatively recently. I think it makes sense that there's all sorts of crazy shit down there that we might never discover. It's like trying to find a needle in a haystack. Also Mothman. Just because I think it's hilarious and too ridiculous to be fake. Alright, that's about it for this video. Be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to leave a comment down below. Hit that subscribe button. Be sure to hit that bell icon so you never miss an upload. I'll see you next time.